Welcome back to my series, Dance Mums Uncovered. The episode where the ALDC dancers shoot a music video with MattyB is still to this day one of the most chaotic and confusing situations that is aired on the show. This is a topic that I've wanted to cover since the very beginning of my series, but up until now I didn't have access to enough information to figure out what happened. Well, it turns out that the girls weren't pulled from the video just because Mackenzie didn't get listed as a featured artist, because there was more to the MattyB music video than the producers cared to show. Feel free to share your thoughts on the following evidence. First, let's look at producer influence. There was a document in the Season 5 production binder where the producers had listed particular people and businesses that they had contacted, asking if the ALDC dancers could work for them. MattyB was one of these artists that they had contacted. The audition process itself seems very producer-driven. The idea that there were different tiers of roles for the girls to be given and a single lead role that could be fought over seems like a plan to create a project with maximum potential for drama. Looking at the call sheet for this episode, it doesn't seem to me that the producers filmed the music video itself, just the behind-the-scenes drama. There is no additional crew or equipment from Collins Avenue designated to the filming of this music video. Although that being said, the producers were quite involved in keeping the day running, since MattyB's dad Blake suggested at one point that the whole video should be pulled. The producers ended up having to step in to keep it going. One thing that remains unclear is whether they knew if Mackenzie's music contract was going to be an issue from the get-go. Next, let's explore contracts. In 2017, Mackenzie and Melissa were sued for not upholding their end of a music contract with Kismet Music. The legal documents from this case give us a very clear idea of what this contract contained. We know that their original agreement was signed on the 7th of February in 2014. For the first 12 months, the agreement was simply in a trial phase, which they referred to as a shopping period. Even at this time, Kismet Music had the exclusive rights to Mackenzie's music performances. The contract they signed involved a 360 deal and an exclusivity clause. The 360 deal means that Kismet would pay for Mackenzie's music production, marketing, and distribution costs. In return, Kismet would receive 15% of the profits earned from her music, merchandise, tours, and other revenue streams. We know from the lawsuit that this exclusivity clause was quite strict. Mackenzie was only allowed to work with Kismet for producing music. When she tried to get approval to work with Johnny Orlando's music producer, her request was denied. It is not unreasonable to assume that they would not approve of MattyB's music production team either. Jojo and Mackenzie were singled out the day after the audition as the top two contenders for the lead role. They got to try on some costumes during rehearsals and were invited to a recording session later that night. The production notes do not elaborate on whether or not the recording session actually happened. After speaking with MattyB's father during the video shoot, Abby said that there was a lawsuit on their hands. The production notes talk about lawyers getting involved, which led to Mackenzie being pulled from the vocals. When Abby heard Mackenzie would not be singing, she pulled her from the video entirely. Given all the legal issues that are being spoken about in this scene, it seems pretty safe to assume that Mackenzie's contract with Kismet Music interfered with the contract she tried to sign with MattyB. Evidence number 3, money. In the production notes for this episode, it seems that Abby is the only one who discusses money and insists that the girls should be paid for their participation in the video. Very early in the week, Abby threatened to pull Mackenzie from the video if she wasn't going to be paid. Shortly after arriving on the set of the video, Abby began to rant to the mums that it is important to get paid for the work you do, and that they need to know who owns the song. At this point in time, it's still unclear whether or not the girls were paid by MattyB's people. It's possible that the producers organised for the dancers to work for free in exchange for a good storyline. After all, the production company was paying them for their time to appear on the show anyway. So why did Abby care so much about the money her students made? Well, Abby had a deal with her students, stating that she would get 10% of the profits they earned from dance-related projects. Chloe revealed in her video about Dance Mum's secrets that this was a condition of the contracts that they signed in season 4 to become an official member of the ALDC.
But I got kicked out of the studio because to be a part of her studio, you had to sign a contract. A few of the main reasons my mom wouldn't sign was because it said stuff like you couldn't gain or lose 5 to 10 pounds, something like that. She also wanted 10% of the money I made, and I wasn't willing to agree to that.
So if Abby's students didn't get anything for this job, she didn't get anything either. 4. Loyalty. When the mums discuss the audition, they suggest that Abby probably has some involvement and say in who gets the lead role, although we never find out if this is actually the case. By the time the video comes around, it seems that the mums are less willing to follow what Abby says. So let's look at why people stayed at the music video. At first, Kira pulled Kalani from the music video along with Jill and Melissa, but when she realised that there was no legal issue with her staying, she decided to keep Kalani in the video. Jessalyn probably kept JoJo in the video because she was a top contender for the lead. Since Mackenzie wasn't allowed to be in the video, JoJo would be featured a lot more. Jess's loyalty and professionalism paid off when JoJo was asked back to participate in MattyB's Right Now I'm Missing You music video, which was released a few months after Turn Up the Track. Ashley and Tracy probably kept their daughters in the video because they were guests. This could have been their only chance to be in a music video, so they would have wanted to make it count. Plus, it's possible that the producers could have been pleased if they stayed on set, and perhaps would have allowed them to stay on the team. Nia and Holly were having major issues with Abby this season, who had been crushing their opportunities. She went so far as to bribe Aubrey O'Day with $10,000 to not work with Nia on her music. So things were already pretty tense. During this week, after MattyB's people auditioned the girls, Abby told them that Nia could not get the lead role. Apparently she whispered it and the camera didn't pick up the audio. Nobody seems to mention this comment again after it happened, so maybe not everyone heard it. Holly and Nia decided to stay for the shoot to be professional, and since Abby was already upset with them and trying to sabotage Nia, they didn't really have anything to lose. It's also understandable that these mums didn't trust Abby as their manager, because she did not read the contracts before accepting this job. She was given the girls' contracts a week before the shoot, but did not review them until they were halfway through filming the video. And finally, we have unprofessionalism. Another reason why there was such chaos in this episode has to do with the unhelpful motivations of particular people who were on set that day. Melissa told the mums that Mackenzie may not be able to participate in the video due to her music producer's request. But when she hears that MattyB has over 1 billion combined views, she backtracks. If Melissa had accepted the fact that Mackenzie wasn't going to be able to be in the video and had not tried to justify her involvement, there would have been so much less drama in this video, and more girls would have had the opportunity to participate. Melissa and Abby told the auditioners early in the week that Maddie was not going to be able to be in the video. This seemed to really disappoint them. When Maddie showed up on set, the show made it look like Melissa was forcing Maddie on the music video producers. But according to the notes, they were very eager to find her a spot in the video, due to her success with her SIA projects. And lastly, I feel like it has to be mentioned that one of the auditioners, Eric Saradpon, was arrested for inappropriate activities with minors. It's really disturbing to hear Abby speak so highly of him in this episode, although I don't believe she had any idea of what he was capable of at the time. The production notes say that he was a Dance Mum superfan, which is incredibly disturbing because I know most of us hate the idea that we have anything in common with a person who could do such a thing. So what do you guys think? Does the chaos of this episode make any more sense to you now? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!